In 1998, deep beneath the Pacific, an underwater microphone picked up a sound that shouldn't exist. It was a deep, rhythmic pulse, almost like a heartbeat. Scientists listened, baffled. It wasn't a whale. It wasn't a machine. It wasn't an earthquake. It sounded alive. And then, just as mysteriously as it appeared, the sound vanished. For decades, it was dismissed as a fluke, an anomaly. But one person never stopped believing it was real, Dr. Amina Solace. This is her story. Amina had dedicated her entire life to studying the unexplained phenomena of the deep sea. While others looked to the stars, she looked down, convinced that something ancient, something that breathed, lived in the crushing darkness beneath the Mariana Trench. The day of her greatest experiment finally arrived. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, she sealed herself inside her small, state-of-the-art submarine, the Eclipse 7, and began her descent into the unknown. The world outside her viewport faded from blue to black. Depth, 5,000 meters, a calm, computerized voice announced. The darkness was absolute, a void that swallowed everything. Her lights barely pierced the gloom. Depth, 10,000 meters. The hull of the Eclipse 7 began to groan, the metal trembling under the immense pressure, a sound like terrified bone. And then she heard it. A low, resonant hum that vibrated through her very soul. Hum. It was the exact sound from the 1998 recording. Her heart hammered against her ribs. It was real. Depth, 12,400 meters, the computer stated. That was impossible. This was deeper than the trench was supposed to be. But the ocean didn't care about her charts. It just kept pulling her down. At 15,000 meters, a soft, ethereal blue light began to emanate from the water around her. Amina peered down, her eyes wide, and her breath caught in her throat. There, carved into the seafloor, was a structure so massive it defied comprehension. A gigantic circular gate, larger than a football stadium, with strange, fluid symbols drifting across its surface like ink in water. And the gate was breathing. Hum, the sound was coming from it. Amina whispered to herself, a sense of awe and terror washing over her. This is alive. Just as the words left her lips, the ground before her opened up. The water began to churn, spinning into a violent spiral vortex that seized her submarine and pulled it inside. She screamed, a sound lost to the abyss, and then everything went white. When the blinding light finally faded, Amina found herself in a place beyond imagination. Her submarine was resting on a smooth, crystalline surface inside an enormous underwater dome. The dome was filled with breathable air. She looked up and saw thousands of tons of ocean water hanging above her like a glowing, celestial sky, held back by some unseen force. And there, stretching out before her, was a city. A living city. The buildings were made of a substance that looked like breathing coral, pulsing with a soft, internal light. Bridges made of flowing energy connected the towers. The very streets beneath her feet were made of a crystal that pulsed like the veins of a living creature. The entire city seemed to exhale in unison. Hum. High above, in the water ceiling, dark shadows moved with impossible grace. Then, one of the shadows descended. It slid through the water and passed seamlessly into the air-filled dome, landing before her with a silent grace. The figure was tall and slender, its skin shimmering like liquid silver. Its eyes glowed with a deep, turquoise light, and delicate, silk-like fins trailed from its arms. It was beautiful and terrifying all at once. Then it spoke, its voice a melody that resonated in the air. You are early. Amina was frozen, her mind struggling to process what she was seeing. Who? What are you? She managed to stammer. We are the Thalreen, it said, its voice calm and ancient. The memory of the ocean. Amina swallowed hard, trying to steady her racing heart. Why did you bring me here? The creature tilted its head slightly. We did not bring you, it replied. You returned. The Thalreen reached out a long, elegant hand and gently touched Amina's forehead. A torrent of images and sensations crashed into her mind, overwhelming her. She saw herself as a little girl, flailing in the waves of the Red Sea, water filling her lungs. She saw dark silhouettes surrounding her in the deep. She saw a glowing city beneath the waves and felt a powerful heartbeat in the water. She felt hands lifting her, pushing her back toward the light. Amina gasped, the vision breaking, and she collapsed to her knees, trembling. "You came once as a child," the Thalreen said softly. "You drowned. For 3 minutes, your heart stopped." Amina's voice shook. I was saved by my parents." "No," the creature whispered, its turquoise eyes filled with a strange tenderness. "We saved you." The foundation of Amina's reality shattered. Everything she knew about her life was a lie. "You carry our breath," the Thalreen continued. "You belong to both worlds." Suddenly, the entire city trembled violently. The water ceiling rippled as if struck by a giant hand. The hum grew louder, faster, angrier. "Hooam! Hooam!" cracks spiderwebbed across the crystalline streets. The coral towers pulsed with a frantic, alarming light. The whole city was shaking like a heart on the verge of exploding. "What's happening?" Amina shouted over the growing din. "The ocean is shifting," the Thalreen said, its calm demeanor finally breaking. "The ice above your world melts. The currents break. The storms rise. The deep awakens." As it spoke, a massive crack split the ground right beneath them, and Amina felt a lurch as the entire city began to rise. Her eyes widened in horror. "You're going to the surface?" "Yes," the creature confirmed, its voice grim. "And you will lead us?" Panic seized Amina. This was madness. She turned and ran, scrambling toward her submarine, slipping on the shaking ground. She climbed inside, frantically slamming the hatch shut. The Thalreen appeared in front of the viewport, its face serene despite the chaos. "You cannot leave," it said, its voice a clear tone even through the thick glass. Amina yelled back, her voice raw with fear. "I'll die down here." "I have to go back. You were never meant for the surface," it whispered, its words a chilling finality. "You are ocean-born." At that moment, the water dome shattered. An impossible weight of water crashed into the chamber. Amina screamed as the Eclipse 7 was thrown about like a toy, flipped over and over, caught in a powerful, rising current. The city was ascending, shooting upward from the abyss like a colossal, living mountain returning to the world of light. Amina lost consciousness. When she opened her eyes, she was floating. The gentle rocking of waves, the warmth of the sun on her skin. She was at the ocean's surface. The sunrise burned gold and orange on the horizon. She coughed up salt water, gasping for air, and pulled herself onto a piece of floating wreckage, a twisted piece of her destroyed submarine. She was alone. But then, behind her, the water began to churn. A glowing blue shape rose from beneath the waves, a form so immense it dwarfed mountains. It was alive. It was breathing. Amina whispered to the empty ocean, "No one will believe this." But she was wrong. They would. Because at that very moment, the ocean began to glow worldwide. And the hum, the sound that had haunted her for so long, returned to every underwater microphone on Earth. Hum, hum. It was no longer a mystery. It was not a warning. It was an announcement. The deep had awakened, and it remembered her name.